Welcome to Reezy Talks. I think that was a little loud. I apologize for that. This is episode number 68. How is everybody doing? Hope everyone out there is well, whether you're following on YouTube or on the podcast. This is the first week of January. It's actually the end of the first week. It is January 7th. So a lot of stuff going on for everyone into the new year. Today I have a good friend of mine, Rob Cotton, who goes by the name of Earth Chakra now and currently has the Wesley Snipes from Demolition haircut going on. How you doing, Rob?
Man, why you gotta leave with that, man? How you doing, man? I mean,
I
you could
love
have
you,
said
Rob.
Meteor Man, but say what you
Meteor
want.
Man. Either way,
Yeah.
I don't have any hair, so that's just me making, it's an internal personification. But tonight's this show that you're listening to right now should be pretty fun. Shout out to everybody that's in the comments that showed up. Please like the video so we can get some YouTube love going on and get it out there to more people. Share it on Facebook if you have Facebook. We got the JC Files in the chat. That's my brother from another mother from the other side of the whole other side of the world. Brother from another mother from the other side. We got Danny Iddings. We got Stacy Risner. What is up, Stacy? Mandy Adams, Shelby, Kyle Reek, Milton, Jose, Solid Sales, Miggity Miggity Mike, Clutter Guy. What is up, guys? Thank you, everybody, for joining the broadcast. Welcome. Just want you guys to know that you can ask questions, and we will do our best to try and answer them. Just type all capital question before you have it. And if you want it for me or for Rob specifically, you can add that in there. Excuse me, I had a burp real quick. And then we'll get the question and we'll get it answered. If your question doesn't get answered, don't worry. Just copy and paste it again into the bottom. The chat gets busy sometimes. Other people in the chat, some Reezy Ninjas might just help you out and answer your question as well. So feel free to network and connect with each other in the live chat. That's kind of the cool part about showing up. But without further ado, let me introduce you, or let Rob introduce you to himself. But I think you guys are going to enjoy this. Rob was originally just like an original Reezy Ninja before I even had that term made up, huh, Rob?
Yep.
Probably way back, like back when I was still heavy on Snapchat.
Back when the word was in its little wee stages.
Right, in its wee stages. But yeah, so he learned from me and went from that to being full time. So we're going to discuss the whole journey, and I think it's going to be a lot of fun. So where should we start, Rob? We want to start with let's give him a picture of like where you're at right now. That's a good idea, I think. So
right now.
Yeah. I mean, where you were at with your business, and what, how has your life changed since before you started selling books or before you started following me? Not that I'm trying to take all the credit. Obviously, you did a lot of hard work, but
yeah. But I mean, I started because I was already selling on eBay and things like that.
Right.
I had my eBay going. I was selling shoes. I was doing men's clothes.
Right. We'll get into that, but I just want to preface it with like where you're at now. So like a little bit more detailed than like you're a full-time reseller. You sell mostly used books on Amazon.
Right.
You can detail more of the other stuff you do, but like what is your life like now? What in whatever ways you want to describe it, as far as, where has the journey gotten you?
Okay. Well, pretty much I started my journey just doing FBA. Fully FBA, and right now I'm doing about 75% FBA, 25% merchant fulfilled.
Okay.
And that's just because the FBA fees and things like that, the storage and things like that, I started realizing the profit that was in merchant fulfilled. So right about now, it's it's still on the up since I moved from LA to Denver. So I'm out here trying to make new connections, trying to do all that all over again.
Right. So, but just to put like a figure on it, I don't want to put you on the spot, but like obviously you're making a full-time living from what you're doing, right?
Oh yeah.
Right. Do you want to share any kind of numbers, like what you did for last year, maybe in gross sales or anything?
Yeah, last year in sales, Amazon sales, I did 5,576 items,
Mm-hmm.
so over 5,000 books, and that was $110,000 in sales.
Awesome. So
Yeah.
out of that, did you look at like your taxes or your profit yet? Have you done that?
Yeah, I did my taxes, but I mean, the average sale price was 1974 for these books. So
That's
my
decent.
profit, yeah, my profit was about, well, that I got back was about 46,000 that I
Nice.
claimed on my taxes. Yeah.
Nice. And then
So,
so after paying taxes, that's like a decent, that's better than some college paying jobs, right?
yeah.
So,
And I got money back from my taxes only because I worked as a massage therapist, also as an
right.
airbrush artist. So I had all these other things I could write off. Like I could write off everything I owned, from my shoes
Yeah.
to my haircut.
Sounds like
So
me with the Reezy Resells thing. Everything becomes a write off, right?
everything.
So, but let's take it back to before you were a full-time bookseller. You were selling like before you were selling random stuff on eBay, or were you working a 9 to 5? I know you said you used to work at Starbucks way back.
Yeah, I was a shift lead at Starbucks for 5 years, and then I worked as a massage therapist after that. So when I started selling on online, I was working as a massage therapist, and in between clients, I was sitting there thinking, like, man, if I could make some extra money while I'm waiting on clients, that would be perfect. You know what I mean? And there was a Goodwill right around the corner from where I worked, so I was in there all the time anyway. And sure enough, started
You
putting two and two
started just
together.
finding stuff and putting it all on your own, like organically.
Yeah, because I would take them and then bring them into my work and then start listing them on eBay. And then I
Right.
started finding, your bald head on YouTube and stuff like that.
Well, it wasn't quite bald yet, but
Oh yeah.
um, so like right away you were just organically learning how to flip stuff and looking up comps. I'm assuming you must have had some kind of past experience with sales. I don't see that most people go to that like quickly. Did you do any sales as a kid or anything?
I always had my own businesses. So I
Okay.
worked as an airbrush artist, so I was always selling my own art to people and things
Okay.
like that. But
All
I
right,
also had the
cool.
hustle to try to find the cheapest deals on paint and what's it called? Bulk clothing and things like that. So
Right, because you use that stuff for materials, right? For your
yeah.
artwork.
And being able to like call people and set up deals to get bulk orders when I only had like $50 and I needed a bunch of items. So
Right, cool. So that makes a lot of sense because I thought that was pretty interesting. Most people don't just gravitate towards naturally thinking of business ideas. You know what I mean?
yeah,
I think people who are business minded do,
yeah.
to the point maybe where our friends are like, "Hey, stop talking business," and it's like, "No, I can't. It's just natural, right?" But
I almost didn't hang out with friends because they'd be like, "Where do you always go?" At the end of the day, I'm like, "I'm at home with my business." You know what I mean? Like I never told
right,
people that because they never understood it. So I just kind of kept it to myself.
right. That's awesome. So you said a little bit you were a massage therapist. I know because we're actually friends at this point, but you are a licensed massage therapist currently.
Yep. Or not out here
Nice.
in Denver because since I moved, I'm not licensed out here.
Okay,
So
so what's the process for that?
I would have to go and get state tested.
And then pay some fees once a year or something.
It costs a few $100 for the test, and if you fail, you got to keep doing that, and then you
Yeah,
have to pay to get licensed, pay to do all those normal things.
nice.
But
But do you enjoy doing the massage therapy, or is that just more income for you, or how do you
I
see
love.
it?
See, that's the thing is like as much as I love doing it, I mean, when you work with other massage therapists, you naturally get worked on all the time. Like you'll be working with somebody and you're like, oh, my back is just killing me. They're like, oh, I've been, working on this at home. Let me try it out on you. So I remember working as a therapist. I was never in pain. So never lacked a massage.
Yeah,
So,
that's awesome. That's cool though. You always had a few hustles. Rob actually came and stayed with me for a couple nights, during when we had a meetup, and he gave me a massage, brought his massage table and everything. Pretty crazy.
oh, yeah.
Until till then, I never had a real massage. Then after then, I bought a whole bunch. You got me addicted, bro. You got
See,
me in the
that's what
game.
happens.
Everybody go get a massage. If you haven't had a massage, go get one.
Oh, yeah.
Buy someone a massage for a gift. Great gift.
It'll keep you in
Um,
the game that much longer.
so how did you even find me on the interwebs? Like, how did that even work? Do you remember?
I don't really remember, but No, I don't remember exactly. I think it was the yellow background or something that just caught my attention.
That's super weird. You
I'm
just don't
like a fish.
remember.
I'm attracted to like bright, shiny objects, and I'm like, oh, this guy's super colorful. You know what I mean? Like
So
rocking a sweater.
would you say it was Instagram or was it YouTube or was it Snapchat?
Instagram.
Okay.
Yeah. And then
Awesome.
that really led to YouTube, you know? So
Awesome. And so when you started selling books, like, did you like, you saw some videos from me and you were like, okay, this is the real deal. This is going to be awesome. This is going to work. Or were you skeptical or, what? Like, how was it like when you're like, okay, I'm going to sell a book? Like, people buy books? Like,
right away, I knew it was going to work
right.
because I had spent so many years in college. And I remember paying for those $70, $80, $90 books every semester. Like every semester. And the thing is, I would be on eBay finding the cheapest book, doing all
Right.
those things. And then I'd have a stack of books in my house that I didn't sell and I just kept them.
Yeah,
You
that's
know what I
awesome.
mean?
So there goes that business mind kicked in with the recent memory of the pain of paying for them for college,
Oh my,
you
I
know, combined
recognize.
with, which is funny because a lot of students, I think how funny it is how people just discard books. And I think about like a lot of times people who like discarded or donated the textbooks, they might have not been the ones that paid for it.
Exactly.
And yes, students aren't directly paying for it. They're like subsidized. So they're not like super thoughtful about it. But I think a good portion of these books that get just like donated or thrown away is done by a person who knows they recently paid $100 for it. And they don't even think that it could possibly be worth money or that you could. I mean, I grew up selling stuff and flipping stuff, and I never thought to look at the books. They're like invisible or something. You know what I don't. It's weird.
They're just ugly.
They're just
I mean,
ugly.
straight up, like you have books and it's just like, I don't know what to do with that. Like you don't think to sell it because you don't think anyone else wants it. As
Right.
weird as that
Yeah.
sounds.
Yeah. I
Like,
don't know. So you got into books. Did you just start with just your cell phone and the seller app, or how did you get into it?
yeah, it was just my cell phone and the Amazon seller app because I didn't want to buy all those gadgets and gadgets.
Right.
I was like, why do I need all this if I could just scan it with my
Yeah.
phone? Yeah.
Yeah.
That was the
Gizmos and
first
gadgets
one.
aplenty.
That was
You're
the
good.
first.
And so after a short period, you got, what was the first things that you bought? You got a
Inventory
scanner,
lab.
or you got an app, or you got a repricer, or what was your first investments?
I got an inventory lab
Okay.
and a scanner, an Omicron scanner. No, a KDC scanner.
Nice. And so
So
at that point, you probably also started using, I would imagine, FBA scan.
yeah, exactly.
Scout IQ didn't exist yet.
Yeah, and I
So
was
you,
using Inventory Lab at the time, but
mhm,
Inventory Lab, since you have to do book by book,
takes forever.
that kind of took forever. I liked it because I was doing hard goods and other items as well, so it
Yep.
was kind of nice to see like the profit at the end and things.
What are
like
you using now?
Scan Lister.
Smart man.
Because
Much
Scan
faster.
Lister, you know, you can scan a whole table full of books and then just put it on my shelf. Merchant
Right.
fulfilled,
Yeah. Yeah. Definitely. Okay. So once you got the scanner, now you got the database, and you're like on cloud nine. You're like, oh man, I can scan so fast now,
Yeah.
right? Like,
Oh yeah, I see people still using their Amazon app at the store, and I'm just like,
right.
excuse me, buddy, can you
Yeah.
scan that?
Excuse me, sir. I'm gonna to go 100 miles per hour on you.
Exactly, and they're just looking at you, and it's like, sorry, man, but
Right. So do you have a repricer?
yeah, I use Repricer.
Okay. Do you remember when you first signed up for it?
The
Do you remember like do you recall like having a large day of sales the day you turned on your repricer?
yes, because I was using Inventory Lab at the time. I wasn't even using ScanLister yet, so
Okay.
I had a Repricer, and I remember turning that on and just seeing books just start selling. I mean, some of the books sold for a little bit lower than I thought because I hadn't
Right.
done it and really tweaked a bunch of things. But
Right.
I was happy they were selling. I was like, this thing works.
Right. I think at some point you got to quit micromanaging each price and just focus on getting more books. You know, it's not the end of the world if you lose $1 or $2 on a book, because you're going to, the way I look at it anyways, is that I'm also going to make $1 or $2 on the next book. You know, that more, you know what I mean? Like it's as likely to go up as it is to go down. You know what I mean? With the, the different strategies based on, when it sold, when you bought it, when it got there. A lot
Yeah.
of people don't think about that. Sometimes the market changes in your favor. Like it might be like a $9 book, but then when yours gets there and goes active, it's like a $12 book.
Oh yeah, we don't want to talk about that. Remember that 800 book I sold?
I don't remember. What was the title?
I don't remember the title, but it was a $22 book. But somehow some pricing got jacked up and someone ended up paying $800 for it.
That's
And
insane.
I don't know.
That's up there on the records. So, you got a repricer, you got it. At what point did you really like start to focus on books, like, and think it was like the main thing? Was it pretty quickly, like a few months in, by the time you got the repricer?
Yeah, because the more I got into books, the more I started talking to people about it. I was talking to my massage clients about it, even because they'd be like, what do you do outside of massage? That's what they all want to, they want to know what kind of person you are.
Right.
And I'd be like, yeah, I sell vintage books and sell used books. And I found this one client that was a superintendent for the school district. And so this guy, anytime a school was selling books to get new ones, he would call me and say, hey, bring your car, go pick these books up. And so he would have pallets full of just school books. And I would sit there and pick them all out. And the ones I didn't want, I would take them to a dumpster and dump them. The ones I wanted, just sold them in to FBA.
Awesome. Is that how you built out your donation program, or what? Like, I forget exactly what you have set up. I know you have like a little website that you can give to people like that. Did that like spawn you into like creating that website and all that?
Yeah, the Green Earth books.
Yeah.
And that was just pretty much a donation service that I had.
Do you care to share that publicly?
Green Earth books?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean,
you don't have to.
Well, basically the rundown is I made a website for myself called Green Earth Books, and people can pretty much go there. It was linked to my Facebook, and it was linked to my Instagram at the time. So I had like friends and family that could just donate to that, all the books that they had, and I put it on Craigslist, things like that. And
Nice.
People donated to it too, because I would go to people's houses and it would be old people that had garage sales and things like that. So I would go to their books and they'd be like, yeah, I tell them to leave it outside their house, and we would have somebody go and pick it up whenever they needed to.
So basically people had yard sales, their books didn't sell, you came and picked them up.
Yeah, and a lot of people are selling their
Good old Rob.
Oh yeah. And I told him, we had a team of people that would work to get out there, and it was just me.
Well, I think one person can be a team.
Well,
if you ask me, there's a team of one.
If you make yourself out to be a team, you could be a team. But
what do you guys think in the comments? Is there such thing as a team of one? I think there is. Hey, let's talk about like what are some of the things that were difficult for you going into book selling, or what are maybe some of the things that you weren't able to learn from my content, or hard lessons that you learned, or I don't know, just anything insightful or like specific guidance for people that are on the journey between starting book selling and, anywhere between there and quitting their 9-to-5, or.
I would always say, don't quit your day job. Only because you always have that source of money that you can get, that is rolling in. Because you're already used to that, whatever amount of money that you're living on. So if you can stash away an extra, $50 a paycheck and go grab some books or some other inventory, you're already building up naturally other funds. Because I never really had that fear of, oh my God, if this book doesn't sell, I'm going to be on my ass again. You know what I mean? Because I can go bust out some massages or go drive Uber and make that up. I already had that stability.
I didn't know you used to drive for Uber.
No, I'm still hooked up to the app. No matter what, I can go do that.
You're still in the Matrix, brother.
Exactly. I know in 5 days I can make $600, minus gas, minus Uber fees. So that's like $450. And I know that's there.
Yeah, so, that makes a lot of sense, man. That's like a really good piece of advice for a lot of people. That makes the journey easier, if you think about it, right? So
100%. And the thing is, while I was driving Uber, I would be out in the middle of nowhere and get on my Yelp app and be like, oh, there's a Goodwill 1.5 miles away. Go and bust out some books real quick, put them in my car, and turn my Uber right back on.
Yep, so smart.
It's a mix of having these multiple incomes that people need to realize that if you're selling clothes and it's not, panning out 100%, spend your time a little away doing something else to generate that money, and the
Right.
ideas will come back to you. The money will come to you because, like I said, I'd be out driving Uber wondering where I get my next,
Right. Your
book
next
sale
fix.
from. Yeah,
Because you're a hustler and you can't live without your addiction.
exactly. And so, honestly, sometimes I would go out and drive Uber just to get out of my house.
Right. No, it makes sense. I've heard people do that. They're like, I gets me out of the house. I like seeing stuff, I'm making money.
Yeah, and people usually invite me out when I'm driving Uber. They're like, "Oh, we're going to get some drinks. You
Right.
seem like a cool guy."
Uber's a hustle, man. Like, I'm sure there's books or like YouTube channels or whatever, but it's not like you just turn the app on and like expect to make your money. Like, because I grill my Uber drivers because I'm always asking them. I'm curious. I'm like, yo, how long you been driving for? How much you been making? Like, what's up? What's up? Do you do referrals? And I tell them, I'm like, why aren't you like advertising, sign up for Uber like in your own car, on the back seats? That's a $500 thing if 1 out of 100 people a month do it. That's huge. Like all these. And the real hustlers, they're like, okay, this is how you do it. You got to drive to where like the surge is, then you clock in, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Then you get like a surge driver in areas and times, and so really early or really late, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And then drive that route and then clock out when that's over, because if you don't, they'll give you some bullshit route like right in that area, like near the airport or something, you know what I mean? When the reality is you just want to drive right back to the center of the city for the surge and then clock back in so you can take someone to the airport again. You know what I mean? But and that's how you really pimp the system out.
You learn, like they learn from you and you learn from them. But it's like when I'm the driver, it's a completely different story because I'm taking all this in the ears and letting them have a little bit too. So, and the funny thing is, like going back, when I was selling on eBay, when I was a shift lead at Starbucks, I was selling those Starbucks mugs, man.
Oh, like, on the You Are Here series?
All those things, like the location mugs, like the Los Angeles.
Yeah, to be honest, bro, when you go into a Starbucks, do you still try and use your discount?
No, but I almost remember my number last time I was there, my employee number.
Yeah.
And it was weird, but back in the day, I remember, well, I don't know if it's illegal, but the pumpkin spice.
Yeah.
I remember those because sometimes we wouldn't sell all of them, and I would bust those out on eBay and make a quick $100 per pump. Like,
yeah, you gotta do what you gotta do, man. Gotta do what you gotta do.
They said you had to throw those out at the end, like throw them in the dumpster.
Nah, man, like, forget that. I'm not about being wasteful, man. That ain't right. Hey, real quick, I just want to acknowledge the super chat. We got a $10 super chat from Rise and Grind Picker. Says flipping books is where it's at. I'm all in at RA and mixing books in. That's awesome, bro. Appreciate that. And our best friend Steve Rakin upped the ante and came through with the $2.09 super chat. It's amazing. I'm happy to see Steve Rakin breaking new barriers. I think I see what he did right there. It's 2019, so he did 209. I think that's what he did. I don't know. Maybe I'm just making stuff up. And we got another $2 super chat from Carol. I really appreciate it, Carol. Please smash the like button if you guys are listening. So let's go back into it. So we were talking. We got distracted a little bit with the Starbucks thing, but I was gonna tell you this is a complete side interjection. And it don't make sense to you guys if I don't first tell you Rob is a huge fan of the movie The Matrix. At least, are you a fan of the whole series or specifically the first one? I want to. Okay, yeah. I want to clarify it before just if you were a purist Matrix fan.
The third one. Yes.
Okay, so anyways, I love The Matrix too. Believe it or not, there's people that still haven't seen The Matrix. If you haven't seen The Matrix, DM me. I want some real hard, cold data on how many people haven't seen The Matrix yet. But anyways, the other day I thought of this. I thought of like what I'm doing on YouTube and teaching people, and kind of like what I've done like with you through teaching you how to sell books. I kind of feel like I'm Neo and I'm waking people up from the Matrix.
100%.
I swear, man, it's insane, and that's what this internet's allowing people to do is to like create platforms where you can reach people and like wake people up. You know what I mean? Like it's happening faster and fast. Like how many people are there like me doing what I did to you? You know what I mean? And how many people am I waking up? You know what I mean? Like
you're the Morpheus.
That's how you see it?
Yeah, because Neo wakes up in his bed and he could work his 9 to 5 job, but he knew there was something else that was out there.
Right.
And the more he knew, the more it came to him. And once he realized that he could make that change, he did.
Yeah,
but he needed Morpheus found him. Remember
so
that?
basically I'm the white Morpheus.
Oh, exactly. So you got the haircut, so it works
Hashtag
out.
white Morpheus.
You got the haircut.
Someone please send me a graphic
Oh
of,
my God.
of me as white Morpheus. I'll be forever in your debt. I'll
with the
repost it
right here.
on Twitter and Instagram with your tag on it. It will be beautiful.
A book in one hand and a 9 to 5 in the other.
So, you don't only sell books. What are some of the other things that you sell?
I was at Walmart the other day looking at little arbitrage items because I don't like to do big monsters like toys and things like that as much as I'd like to. But I was in there honestly like I found some soap that I could sell. And the soap was selling for like 65 cents with a discount, so it was like 45 cents. And they were selling for like $2. So
what can you make on that? What are the fees on that?
The fees were like 43 cents. And it was it Dawn soap, the little soaps.
Oh, like the travel size.
Yeah. So it doesn't cost a pound to ship and things like that. So I found a little money in those. You can make $1.50, $2 for each one.
You got to bundle those together, man, and make your own listings. That's where the money's at.
Exactly. But I mean, I was selling them individually and making a couple bucks on each one, and I swooped up like 35 of them one day.
Nice.
But
I know you do a lot of sourcing, or at least in California, from the Goodwill outlets. Are you doing that in Colorado as well? Side note, that doesn't make sense because you guys don't know Rob moved to Colorado from LA recently, so he's like still acclimating to the climate.
Yeah, I'm still freezing, but I've been here for what, 2 months now?
And yeah, not long enough to warm up.
Yeah, because I was already going to stores and things like that in LA. But once I found the bins, I got really spoiled on it.
Right.
Because I could just wake up, run to the bins for a few hours and know the books were there coming to me. But since moving, I have to go out and be more proactive where I get them. But the population difference is huge. Like I go into a library and I'm the only person in the whole library. You know what I mean? Like
there's a lot less people. Are you specifically in Denver or where are you at?
Yeah, I'm in Denver, like South Denver, so like Glendale, right next to like Denver Tech Center.
Okay.
Like so you can imagine next to a tech center. My local Goodwill is actually the best one out of all of them.
Nice. And they put books out regularly?
They put books out at 1 o'clock and at 8
Damn,
o'clock.
you're just throwing the beans out there, bro. You're about to have some competition show up.
And at 8 o'clock at night. So
okay.
I know this, meaning I can go in early in the morning and scoop them up, or right after like 2 or 3 o'clock, because I know the guy that puts them out. So
yeah, that's cool. That's important, making connections and relations with people, right?
Yeah. And so whenever I go there, I just know every single time it's always going to be good because I read the shelves.
Yeah, dude, we're going to have to pause real quick. Rob just said something called. So I have the technique that I invented or whatever. It's just like common sense, but whatever. We're going to call it a technique.
It's not common because I didn't know it.
It's not common. Okay. It's not as common as you know what's screwed up is that you might do something you think is common, but you are not everyone else. So it's kind of rude for you to say you think it's common. You know what I mean? Like,
right?
At least, I don't know. I just had a weird thought about that. So sorry for assuming, you know what I mean? But anyways, it's just like when you go to a thrift store and you don't know when they're going to put the books out, or let's say you even know that they are going to put the books out tomorrow or later today, whatever, you can't make it. You're not going to be there. And there's nothing worse than like showing up to a store and they put the books out before you got there, like maybe even like a day before or hours before, whatever, and customers have shuffled them all around. They're not in one spot. Like, it's terrible. So what I started doing is I would consolidate all the empty space of the shelves into one shelf if possible. And if they organize by category or whatever, you probably don't want to do it. They might get mad. But for the most part, thrift stores don't. It's usually just organized by size. So you get all the spot, instead of a little bit here and a little there and a little there and a little there, whatever, you make one spot and, preferably like waist high. Then when they come out to put the new books out, when you're not there, where do you think they're going to put them? Right there. So then when you come back the next day, they're right there and it's easy for you to find them. And one day I get a notification. Rob posted it on Instagram, and he called it "reesing the shelf."
Oh yeah.
So that's just what it's been coined, and that's what everyone calls it, "reesing the shelf."
You know, it's so proper because that was or is one of the most frustrating things to anybody that wants to get into books. They walk to the book section of any store and it's just ravaged. All you see is like dust and roaches running all over these,
Right.
pages of books everywhere. And it's like that can be intimidating, but sometimes like when you butter it up a little bit and like make those empty shelves, next time you go in there, even though it's a terrible store, you look and there's like nice, fresh, clean books in there. And
Yep.
so
You
you
save
just get
yourself the work, because the worst thing besides, you know what I mean? Like when you don't know where they're at, you know what I mean? Like even myself, having sold books for 10 years, I wouldn't say I'm like a book expert. I'm like an expert at selling books on Amazon and sourcing books, but like if I had to buy blind, I'm sure I would be much better than the average person, but it still would be a train wreck, right? Like you don't really know. So what do? You scan everything. When you don't know, you're like, oh man, I know 75% of these I've already scanned, but this is the most efficient way to make sure I scan everything, including the new ones that have been put out. And that's honestly what we do. Other words wise, there's a couple things you can do. You can reuse the shelf, which also doesn't work all the time. They could, move it around or whatever still.
Oh
You
yeah,
could flip the books upside down. So the spines are upside down.
that takes
All
a
of
lot of
them.
time
Takes a lot of time.
because there's a lot
And
of
they
dust.
also, some people would get mad, but most people don't notice. The other one, which is the super stealth James Bond trick, which doesn't have a name yet, is the
UV light.
UV marker. Yeah,
I got
in the
that.
ultraviolet keychain. So
I
then
got
you just draw an invisible magic line. Just literally walk down the shelf and draw a line on all the books with your hand, and then shine your little keychain UV light on it, and you can see which ones you've looked at before or not. So, but man, you gotta do something. The UV 007 thing might get you in trouble. Don't let them see you doing it. But
I do that
even if
when
they do catch you, it's funny because they won't find, there's no line. Like,
yeah, when I'm enclosed in places, then I'll do it. But if there's people behind me shopping in Goodwill, I know they're looking right at me, so I can't do anything funky. I just have a good memory of the books that are local in my area.
right.
But also I know that other bookstores kind of you can always tell a book that's fresh or a store that's fresh because the books are so packed together. Like you can't
Yep.
even pull one out because it's so tight.
Right.
They just stocked that shelf.
Yeah, it's
You know what I
exactly
mean?
like how you just know how the mechanics of like packing the shelf work, right? So it's the
Yeah.
same reason why, like, if you find something at the bins used or whatever, and it has like the packaging still, whatever, like you open it up or whatever, you get it, and you're like, this is brand new. You just know it's brand new because no human, takes it out and puts it back that perfect. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? Like,
Oh yeah.
no one put it back in. They didn't wrap it that good. They didn't put the twisty ties on like that, like this is new.
That's true. And for beginners and such, like there's a lot of Goodwill stores I go to. I have a Yelp collections is what they call them. And all the Goodwills, I just looked up all the local Goodwills in my area. All the Salvation Armies, all the art thrift stores, everything. I have them in separate collections. And in your Yelp, when you go into your collection, you can go to a map of all the things in that collection and see where everything is. So no matter where you go, you can look on your Yelp and be like, oh, I'm right here next to this one. I may as well go check it out. But also in those collections, you can make notes on each one of those locations.
That is so major key right there,
So
bro.
I have in my collections like these Goodwills, and I have literally like a garbage emoji on it, and it just says garbage. Like, don't go to this store. It's
Right.
like a small
Dude,
book
you can
section.
take it to the next level, and I don't know how much of the notes you're using, but like to track the names of the store employees and the managers, and so
You
like
do all that.
for
I do
example,
all that.
like Jill, and oh, she said, her kid was sick. And so next week when you come back in, oh hey Jill, is your kid sick? Like is Tommy still sick? And like that just builds your relations.
I wish I could show you, but I do that with the happy hours that I go to and the cute bartenders that I know. But other than that, that's how I forget their names. So when I go in there, I'm like, yo, what up? And they're like, you remember my name? I'm like, remember everybody's name, you know what I'm saying?
Oh
But
man,
it's
real
like,
quick on that note, I'm going to take a second to acknowledge Carolina Rooster, who just totally demolished Steve Rakin out here with the two $4.99 super chats.
oh, snap.
Appreciate that, bro. Just came out here and just demolished him. That's this funny game I'm trying to start. The game's called the high. You have to bid more than the last person to beat the high score. You want
Yeah,
to
you
get
need
the
to
high
put their
score
name
on
up
the
there.
super chat.
You need to put their name on the screen.
I'm just kidding. What if I hooked it up to a confetti cannon where if you super chatted $20, it blasted me in the face with confetti?
I think people will be doing that just so you get blasted in the face.
Dude,
Especially if
I
they're
might
hurt.
have a new career choice. Dude, so Kevin Reed says we should call the UV pen trick the Morpheus.
That would work. Or it
Yeah,
could be
that's
called "Don't Get Caught, You'll Get Kicked Out."
right. It could also be called Don't Get Caught or you might get kicked out.
Also, a little trend.
Someone said, where should I send the Reezy Morpheus pic to? Please upload it. You could DM it to me on Instagram, but please upload it to some file sharing site and drop the link in the chat. I'll approve it so everyone can see it. That will be amazing. You're going to be the goat of the super chat for this afternoon right there for that one. So let's go into it. Like, how has your life changed at all since you started selling books? Has it allowed you any more freedom, or I don't know. I'm just curious. What has what is everything other than you're selling books? Changed from then till now. You know what I mean?
Yeah, a lot of things have changed. Basically, in the sense of I'm able to move and do things more efficiently, other than the way I was before. You know what I mean? Like being able to go to any bookstore and just pick up books and oh shit, what happened? And
Oh,
have a
we're
little
good.
bit of
You good?
profit there. Yeah. And have a little bit of profit there kind of changes things because you don't really have that pitted feeling of what if I don't make enough money this month? So
Right.
I
And
guess
why is that? Because you have an inventory built up.
exactly.
And so
Exactly.
even if you don't get out of bed for the next 30 days, you'll probably still be good.
Yeah, and that changes a lot in your mind because I can go on trips and things like that and do things that I normally wouldn't. I
Takes
was
the
too
pressure off you.
Yeah, I was too tied down to my job or things like that. That
That's
little amount of
huge.
money, yeah,
You know
that I
why
was making.
that's so huge? Because it has like a secondary benefit because those types of things recharge you and like
Yes.
give you focus and they like remind you like why do you work or why do you know what I mean? Like why do you do these things? Um You know what I mean? Like I was just talking to someone the other day. Like I hate the feeling when you come back from vacation and you have to get back into the groove. I hate that feeling. I like the groove, but there's all these little things that are a part of the groove that I don't like doing, like
Yeah.
checking email. And when I'm having a lot of fun on vacation, I like, oh wow, I didn't check my email for 3 days. Even though I check, I have like 10 emails and I check them all like 4 times a day. It's a lot of time. It's probably like an hour or two on emails a day. You know what I mean? But it's like the world doesn't end. You know what I mean? And it's like, man,
Well,
like
I feel
you gotta recharge yourself, and like whether it is to like even just do a stay at home and be lazy and watch Netflix or whatever it is that you want to chill on. You know what I mean? Or go on a trip or to exercise more or you know what I mean? It gets you like for me, my new favorite thing to do, and a lot of people will think it's like not a popular opinion, but it's to go to conferences with like other like-minded people because when I come back, it's like the same reason why I like to watch Gary Vee when I feel like I'm slipping. Watch Gary Vee for like 3 hours, then I'm like my confidence and my passion, my energy, everything's up. I'm ready to work, right?
yeah.
But when you go to like conferences and you're around all these other people that are like everyone's on the mission. You know what I mean? You're like it's way sick. It's like everyone. It's like all your friends got a Lambo and you don't got a Lambo, so you're like okay back to work. You know what I mean? Like I'm not saying I want a Lambo. I'm just using it like as a metaphor. You know what I mean? To where when you see a lot of people and they're like you and they're doing great things and you're also trying to, you know what I mean? At least for me, I'm kind of unsure sometimes, so it helps to like push you and keep you going, like, and I think that's like kind of one of the keys is to like be around great people like more often so that you're more likely to be great. You know what I mean?
Exactly. And I used to admire people's lifestyles. You know what I mean? Like a lot more. And I feel like books changed my life. Not really changed my lifestyle, but it amplified my lifestyle in the sense of what's it called? Just like you said about going on vacation and things like that. I can go on vacation, but at the same time, like since it's my lifestyle to go and hustle things and things like that, even while I'm out on vacation, I'm out there, hustling books, trying to find a way to ship them back. So I guess the mentality of like going on vacation and my mind shutting off, that doesn't really happen, because even in Jamaica, I was trying to find a way to flip cigars.
Yeah.
When I got back. But I mean, it wasn't that I thought I could do it, but even when I was out there, I was like, how much is this?
Yeah, no, I did the same thing, man. I'm in Paris, Disneyland, and I'm spending like 1,500 euros in the Disneyland store outside of, because they got all this merch that says Disneyland Paris.
Yeah.
And they have like the worst Wi-Fi. And I'm in there trying to look stuff up on eBay, and I could have spent like 5 racks of euro racks. I don't know, whatever they call them, 5,000 euros. But I wasn't, I didn't have good Wi-Fi, and like everything was all anxiety. You know how when you're like unsure and you have bad Wi-Fi and like people are like, come on, let's go. Like anxiety kicks in, but still had to spend 1,500. We only probably bought like $100 worth of stuff, but I got like ears that say Paris, Disney, you know what I mean? And I sold all that stuff on eBay. Like 20 euros, like for these ears that say Paris Disneyland, selling for like $65 American.
Yeah.
Which is it's the same thing. I couldn't pass it up. Like if my wife was like, I'll divorce you if you spend 5,000 right now, like I'd do it. She's not being honest. Like,
well,
you can talk her out of it.
I remember one thing I did bring back were these Magnum energy drinks from Jamaica. And I remember I snuck a bunch of those back because in Jamaica they were cheap, but out here you can't find them in America. So I got them past customs just fine. Sold them for $40 each, but
nice.
There were some cool drinks, man. Like they're called Magnums, and they're like sexually stimulating drinks.
Oh, they had like some Spanish fly in it or something?
All that kind of stuff, like some Jamaican juju beans.
I wouldn't put it past you. Hey, real quick, I want to acknowledge someone in the chat right now. We got Brock Johnson in the chat. Brock is an Amazon FBA seller. He actually sold a crazy large amount of solar eclipse glasses last year, and I had him on my show. But recently he had a life-threatening situation with a previous injury and some metal that he has in him, and so he was in the hospital, and he's in the chat right now. I don't know what his current situation is, but I hope you're healing up well, Brock. Everyone in the chat, send out some blessings and well wishes for Brock Johnson. Heal up quick, buddy. I know he's a soldier, man. He's gonna be all right.
Yeah. How's his FBA going?
I don't know. I haven't ever, how everyone is so busy. Like, it's funny. I think people oftentimes they were like, oh yeah, this or that. Like, did you see this video? And I was like, no, I didn't. I was making videos. Like people think you can like make videos and watch videos. It's like extremely hard, right? Like if you were my best friend and you were a YouTuber, I still wouldn't watch your videos. I might catch one here and then, especially if you're a daily vlogger, man. I just give up before I even tried.
Yeah, those videos are intense to edit, let alone like arrange files and things like that.
Yeah, man. So the freedom is pretty huge. We got about another 15 minutes here before the hour is up. Let's take some questions from the audience. If you guys have any questions, if you are a bookseller, getting into selling books, or anywhere along your journey of breaking free from your regular income, your 1920 income methods. Because check it out, guys. It's not 1920. It's 2019. You like that? Flipped it.
There he is.
Here we got a question right here. Oh, the scroll is so fast. I just throw the scroll and I miss it. Oh, it was just the guy asking where he should send the Morpheus pick to. So we got a reply from Brock. Brock says, I'm doing much better. Almost died. That's heavy. I was maybe 15 minutes away, but it's looking good for the future. Keep hustling, everyone. All right, man. Well, prayers going out to you, Brock. Hopefully you heal up good. It's pretty crazy, guys. And I want to interview you, Brock, again after you're feeling well. I imagine you're going to have a lot of insight. It's just, man, you never know what's going to happen, guys. And like, you know what I mean? Like, what was I think I was, I forget what I was listening to, but Rob, you'll appreciate this. guy basically said, I think it was Sadhguru, maybe he was just saying that like every day a million people don't wake up, right?
Yeah.
Like every day a million people had died in their sleep and they don't get to wake up, so that when you wake up every day, like that should be all you need to be like fired up as hell on life, that like you just rolled like the best dice roll, you woke up, you know what I mean?
My best friend in the world died in his sleep.
Damn.
In his
All right,
sleep.
RIP, man.
Man.
But what I was trying to say was that not only that, but like also the people that you know and love and care for, they woke up also. You know what I mean? So like you woke up and everybody you know and love and care for, they also woke up. Like that's crazy. You should be pumped. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah.
And so, but it's really hard, right? It's hard to harness that. And I know from my own heart attack scare that it's enlightening. And then I don't know. That's why I like to go to conferences and be reminded of these kind of things. Cause I feel like no matter what, like lessons we learn in life, if we don't like repeat them or like, I don't even understand, like get it into some kind of rhythm with yourself, like it just fades. You know what I mean? Like if you could have a near death experience and then for how long you're like hyped on life and like really not, taking anything for granted, and then it just fades and it fades. Or at least maybe that's not for everyone. Maybe that's just me. I don't know. What's your take on that, Rob?
Well, it's easy to get comfortable with things not, with things going right. Some people are comfortable with things not going right, and they want to break that cycle. But sometimes things go right, and you just gotta keep that momentum. And sometimes things are going bad, and you gotta change it up, get some good things in there, and then when the good things come, keep that momentum. And so I feel like even with selling and books and things like that, you just have to keep your own momentum. And
I don't even know how you translated that to talking about books, but that was pretty smooth right there.
well, you know what I'm saying? I'm holding back my conspiracy talk when you start talking about dying, but
Yeah. Either way,
hour.
everyone has their own views or whatever. But at least for me, I feel like, I think, what does Gary Vee say? He says that like every day he envisions that like everybody he knows and cares about was like stabbed in the face and they're dead.
Yeah. But even then,
And then from there, he's like, well, I got nothing else to lose now. Or like, I don't understand it. Like, but what I do know is that that's the key. That's the key to everything in life, is being able, not that specifically, but being able to brainwash yourself, being able to convince yourself whatever it is that you need to do, that you are going to do it. You are going to win. You are going to succeed. It is possible. You know what I mean? Like the only people that really fail are the people that quit trying, because like even the worst plan will succeed as long as you don't give up, right?
Oh yeah. And I feel like I get that way sometimes when I'm in the thrift stores and I'm in the fourth store of the day and I'm just like swinging and missing at every single one. And I get to that last one and I'm just like, the books look good. You know what I mean? Like everything looks nice. And I'm just like, I need to scan this store. Like my body's going to kill me if I don't. And there's a lot of times where that last store where I'm just like, I need to do this store. That's where I find all my gold. And it rejuvenates me all over again. I'm just like,
yeah, it happened. You were just about to give up too. You were about to give up.
Those last three were just a test. That happens so much.
Oh, I guarantee it. It happens to me too. Like on a micro scale, when you go into a place, I'll walk around and I'll be like, there's nothing. But I'll do another walk around. And on the second one, I find 2-3 carts full of, like, I find everything. Exactly. And it's like, for some reason, it's about this like meditation about being calm. And then I don't know. I feel like I almost like make them appear.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? It's the weirdest thing ever. We have to address some questions real quick. Ryan says, what's the best selling type of books? The ones that are worth money, Ryan. Those are the best. But to dumb it down a little bit more, I would tell you that nonfiction books and specifically textbooks are going to be the ones that are worth more money than average. But we don't, we're not like, we just scan it. The scanner tells us, right? Like, don't try to outsmart the database.
Another thing that I put in there.
Yeah, get it.
That I noticed is trade books.
Because trade paperback.
Often leave those in there like sewing, bricklaying, fire.
Oh, yeah. Books that teach you how to do stuff are inherently worth money.
But usually those don't have a spine. They either have spiral or the spine is so small that there's nothing written on them. So they're put in the skinny book section. And booksellers, for some reason, don't go through the skinny book
Oh,
section.
I see what you're saying. The format is like a pamphlet style. They're
Yes,
stapled together.
yes, and they're
Yeah, yeah,
different.
yeah.
Sometimes you have
And
to
you
open
open
them
it
up.
up and it's like concrete masonry techniques.
Exactly. Even if they're
Yeah.
old, those things are gold. Like
Yeah.
I can't tell you how many of those I pick up a day.
We got another one. Tim says best deal on a scanner right now. So this question or this answer is like multifaceted because there is no good deals on scanners right now. The scanners that I recommend, KDC 200i by Comtac, Koamtac, or the Opticon 2002 series, or the O2 series, or the 2006, whatever. They're pretty expensive because they're high in demand, and I like brand new. Those scanners are like $300, and the whole like book selling industry, we were used to getting them for one point at like $50 refurbished. That's like a dream. So right now, if you could get a scanner for like $80 refurbished or used, that's a good deal. You're more likely to pay like 100 or 150 because they're 300 brand new. So you have some options. Fortunately, there's a lot of different kind of scanners. So there's the ones I said, the Comtac KDC 200i, the Opticon O2 series. There's the Socket 8CI scanner, which is a flat scanner that goes on the back of your phone, or doesn't. And they make that same model with a different model name now. There is also there's like Symbol makes a scanner, Motorola makes a scanner. There's some Chinese private label like ring scanners. Those work all right till the ring scanner thing like stops clicking. Um, there's a bunch of different ones, and like the cheapest one's probably going to be this one called eYoyo, EYOYO. Last time I checked, they were like $40, but they're big and clunky. They got to be like this big. They're huge.
Yeah.
It's like the size of a decent, USB power brick.
Like the old iPod.
But whatever, it gets the job done, right? So, and I think also they beep and there's no way to disable it. But you just I would just pop it open and cut the wire to the beep, like forget it. But other than that, that's pretty much it as far as scanners. Like there's some weird ones you could use, right? There's like some you could get. I've seen people that have Android phones. I've seen them plug like a full point of sale scanner into their phone
Yeah.
and use that. So there's a lot of different options.
People use what they have.
Right.
I got another question I want to answer. They asked me what my biggest source is outside of Goodwill.
Mm-hmm.
And that's actually a good one because since moving to Denver, I found a lot of different places to go other than Goodwill. And libraries, actually.
Library stores, ongoing sales.
Yeah. There's some libraries that are just some stores that are straight library outlet stores. Like out here, there's a library outlet that's Friends of blah, blah, blah library.
Right.
And so there's a store that's nothing but their outlet books. And they stock them all day long. Like as you pick books, there's people coming back and restocking them all day. So sometimes I sit there for 5-6 hours a day. They all know me by name. I mean, they call me Sunshine because of my hair.
Nice.
But I'm there
you got to
all
take
the
what you
time.
got.
I'm there all the time. And one thing I say is like, I'll be working and I'll say, ask them if I'm in their way and I'll move. And like, oh, no, you're not in my way at all, Rob. And I'm like, all right, cool. But I mean, they'll put out books and sometimes they'll be like, oh, this is a good one here with it in their hands. And then I'll just scan it and put it right in my basket. So that's one source is libraries, also university libraries.
Nice.
If you go into these schools that have the libraries at the schools, you can get books that they have there for cheap. Usually $2 paperback, $3 for hardcover. But there is some gold in there.
Yeah, the books have a much higher average selling price, I would imagine.
Yeah, but the university libraries and yeah, that's about it. The university libraries, regular libraries.
So we got another question. It's similar. Mark says, how do you handle a library sale that puts books out every day? And what amount of books do you look for at the sale to make sense? So if they put books out every day, I would want to know when they put books out every day so I could be there. Maybe you have no competition, so you don't have to go every day. So you could go every couple days. But you got to figure out what works. I would befriend them and, maybe give them gift cards or, bake them cookies, whatever, when you come and you buy stuff so that you could eventually get like on notice, like text alerts when the books are coming out. Either way, there's a lot of ways you could work it. But the second part of the question, what amount of books do you look at for the sale to make sense going.
That doesn't matter.
That's different because I think they're confused because the first question is like a library sale that puts books out every day. And then the next one is like what amount of books? Like that second question would be something you look at when you're going to a large book sale, right? Like
I know what he means though, because sometimes on Book Sale Finder, actually not sometimes, all the times, they have libraries that have ongoing sales. So
mm-hmm.
it says that the library pretty much has a used book section. That's pretty much what I was saying.
Right, but it doesn't list how many books they have in their ongoing sale, right?
No, you just got to go in there and see, because it's just
Right,
a little
exactly.
section that they have in the library. And that's where I said you can find some good ones in there.
Yeah. No, that's good. But the specific question about like what amount of books does it make sense to go? I think that pertains to like, you know, when you're looking at a sale, like I've flown to sales before, you know what I mean?
Damn.
And so when I'm looking at a sale and I'm like, okay, I got to buy a plane ticket. I got to get a hotel. I got to get a rental car and ship the books back to FBA from the hotel. You know what I mean? So I'm looking at like, it has to be a certain size for me to warrant going. You know what I mean?
Not picked over.
Right. So I would say that's a really hard question to answer. I wouldn't if it doesn't take you a lot of effort or energy to get there, I wouldn't be worried about what the size is.
Exactly.
But if it does, then you might need to look at it. And also you have to understand that nobody is counting the books. These libraries aren't like required. So you can go to one sale that says 10,000 books and another one that says 10,000 books. And one could be like one room full of books and one could be a whole cafeteria full of books. The reality is the room full of books probably might be like 5,000 books and the cafeteria is probably like 30,000 books.
Yep.
But you know what I mean? It's just an average person making an estimation and then putting it on there. That one took me a long time to realize is that at first there was sales I wasn't going to because I thought it was small. And then I would go there and be like, wow, they're grossly like under, you know what I mean? I counted like the books in one row and like did the math. And I was like, man, and they're bringing new books out all the time, right? Like, so a lot of people think some sales are really killer because after the first day, they keep putting new books out from the back or from under the tables, then they weren't like got. And then all the booksellers like leave after the preview sale and don't come back, you know? So those are the gold ones.
There's usually not as many scanners there the second day. And usually I try to talk to one of the girls while they're there putting the books out and be like, do you guys have more books in the back? And one time the girl said, yeah, we have a lot in the back. And it was a 3-day sale.
Nice.
And I was like, I know now that I can just keep coming back to this place. But I've gone to book sales that have like 3,000 books. And it says like all books priced higher than $30 were sold online. That's what it said on the book sale finder. But when I went to that sale, they were selling books for $10. They were selling online for $80.
Right.
So I was getting books at a higher price because I knew they were already taking books out, but they were also selling them at the book sale for a higher price. But I was scooping books out there because
but it doesn't. It's actually good like that because it scares away all the competition.
Exactly.
Because a lot of people are really tied into like nickel and diming stuff. You know, I've heard people say things like the Goodwill raised their prices too, and we got to wrap this up here pretty soon. You know, books are now $3 a piece or $4. I'm not coming here. The books are now individually priced. I'm not coming here. And I probably used to be like that too, but then I realized that it makes everyone go away. And then when you go in there, you find like an abnormal amount of $25 books.
Exactly.
And you're like, oh, okay, like I get what happened now. And it's kind of like the same reason why when there's half off day, and I still do this as much as possible. When there's half off day at the Goodwill, I go the day before and scan all the books and get all the high dollar ones because it's too risky to wait till the next day when everyone else is going to show up. But you know, since the sale is the next day, everyone was waiting for the last few days or a week or whatever.
Exactly.
And you got to go in there and you got to come back in the morning too, and then get the small change.
Monday, I figured it out today because on Saturday is Arc Thrift Store out here is 50% off and Goodwill is 50% off. So I did just like you do and go Thursday because you can get the books at normal price, but they're stocked. And they're usually well stocked the day before. And the Monday after, they usually have to stock on Sunday. So today I went and loaded up on a bunch of good books just because I knew Monday would be killer.
Yeah, that's awesome. We got a couple more questions. Do you got any more questions pulled up?
Let's see. No.
think I saw at least one more. Let me pull one more.
Do I ever buy from Barnes and Noble when that 50% off? No, I
Yeah,
don't.
that's a good one. I've bought from Barnes and Noble, but what's funny is I've actually bought more toys than books because they seem to think they're going to sell a lot of toys for Christmas or for whatever, and then they don't, you know? So it becomes your best friend. But I've bought some books. I've also, it's kind of similar. I've bought brand new books from Costco and sold on Amazon. There's actually a lot of books I swear, next time you go to Costco, just start scanning books and start looking them up. There's all kinds of opportunities. We got people. If you're coming into the chat for the mastermind, please mute yourself. That's pretty much it for the show. Remember, guys, if you ain't flipping, you slipping. Go check out Rob's Instagram. There's a link down in the description. Thanks for joining us, Rob. Hang out. Don't hang up yet. And Rob, you still have a YouTube, or did you bury that thing? Where's that at?
Yeah, I have a YouTube, but it's not reseller related. It's just
Okay.
a vlog of me cooking and Denver life.
Yeah, that's cool. Rob's into all kinds of healthy stuff. So good stuff. If you're just coming in, please mute yourself. But thanks for joining us, guys. This has been Reezy Talks number 68. I will see you next Monday at 6 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. I love you guys. Thank you for joining. Hit me up on Instagram if you guys need anything between now and then. Peace out.